and this is going to be a few parts series of getting the train together, getting it onto the track, and then animating it to go around and around and around. So this episode, I'm going to show you how to put it together using the insert constraint. So we're going to start with an assembly, and I'm going to bring in a whole bunch of parts. I'm going to start with the train body. Just click it one time with a left click, and that's all I need. So you can right click and just hit OK. I'm going to bring in 4 wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now another way to escape out of this is just hit the escape key and then it just disappears. All right, I'm going to click on place. Then I'm going to get 4 axle pegs. So I'm just regular clicking, like left clicking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right click and then OK. And place in here the linkage arm. I need 2 of those. Hit escape on my keyboard. Place in here 1 cow catcher.
Hit escape. I'm going to place in 1 hitch magnet. One of those for the back of the train. I'm going to bring in 1 hitch peg. Click open. And what else do I need? With the arm I already have 1 hitch pegs. I need 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right click OK.
I'm going to leave the pivot box and the curve track for later. Oh, I do need 1 stack. Alright, put that up here. So I'm going to use the constraint. If you've done the puzzle cube, you did a lot of mate and flush constraints. We're going to use this insert constraint. The insert constraint is very, very helpful when you have circles. And so you can see there's the blue circle, and then there is this dotted line, and that represents the center line. So I clicked on that back where the hitch peg is going to go, and then you can see I'm going to put the hitch magnet on here, and it lines up the circles. What it'll do is with this center line and then this center line, it'll line up. So I can actually click on either one of these circles. Oh, shucks. I don't want to do that. So let me hit escape. So before I start assembling anything, right click on your train body, go down to ground. You can make sure it's grounded by having this thumbtack over there. If your model is not over there, make sure you hit View, User Interface, and then Model. See how mine's not there anymore? You want to make sure that you have that because we're going to be using that quite a bit. Alright, so here we go. I'm going back to assembly. I'm going to Constraint, Insert, and then I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this, and hit apply. Alright, I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to go to the hitch magnet. If I click on the bottom of this hitch peg, you'll notice that that is not what we want it to look like. So I have to hit cancel. And let me show you what we want it to look like. So we're going to click on this, and then whenever you have a peg or a screw or a bolt or a nail, you probably want to do underneath the like the head of this peg. So if I click on that, you'll see it just snaps right there. Try one more. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on the underside of the peg. There it goes. Looks great. Hit apply. Alright, let's insert this with this back of the wheel. And so one thing I want to point out is the back of the wheel, or the wheel and the back of the train, if you have any like toys where the wheel and the body would press up against, that would create friction, and we want to make sure that, you know, our wheels will spin. So we want to create a little offset here. I'm going to type 0.025, and you can see now there is a space there, and I'm going to hit apply. And we want to do that with all of our wheels. So I'm going to use the insert, I'm going to use the back side of the wheel, and then put it on the front side here, and make sure that you do that offset, 0.025. And let's do it to the other side also.
So, and that, and the constraint. Click apply.
Next, I want to continue using the insert constraint, and I want to add the axle pegs. So I don't want to hit the bottom, I want to hit right underneath the bottom side of the head of the peg. Do the same thing here, underneath or the bottom side of that axle peg. And you can see the wheel spin. And let's add this linkage arm. So I'm going to hit insert. I'm going to click on this right here. And the circles always line up. So I want this blue circle to line up with like this blue circle. I'm sorry, this white circle right here. So it just flipped the linkage arm there. And I want to click on, you'll notice if I click on this and this, it doesn't work. And if I hit apply, I'll get an error kicked to me saying, you know what, that doesn't work. Because we need to make sure that we click on, I clicked the left side of this linkage arm. I want to click the left side of this linkage arm. I also want to click on what I'm looking at right now is this is the left to the right side. I want to make sure I click on the left side here, closest to the wheel. All kinds of problems. I don't know what. Okay, so I'm getting an error, and the error is because if I go down and I open up my relationships, you'll notice that this constraint right here is mistyped. So if I want to change that to 0.025, I just kind of single clicked on it, and now those all match up. And that's the reason I was getting the error, because of that offset. So if you get that error, there could be a measurement incorrect. So let's try it now. Click on this, and that, it works. And now let's add this. I want to go up here to this linkage peg, again the bottom of the linkage peg. And now we can see that all goes together. You do the other side the same way you did it. Alright, let's add the stack to the top of that. I'm going to click on the very bottom of the stack, again using the insert constraint. And then let's add the cow catcher. So I want to click on this and spin my cow catcher around. I want to make sure that this circle right here lines up. When I hit apply, oh, the cow catcher still moves. We need one more constraint because one of those pegs needs to go in there. I could do this one or I could do this one. Either one should work. I'm going to spin it around a little bit more so I can see it a little better. Again, I want this circle to match up because that's what I did on the other side. Hit apply. And now just to make sure that that's working, everything's attached, it looks like. We're going to make sure that the wheels spin together, so I'm going to hit constraint, and I'm going to use an angle constraint, which might be something new to us, and I'm going to do a direct angle. So this is where I'm going to pick one of the spokes, and I'm going to click on this one that's just right by the linkage arm. Click on that, and I'm going to do the same thing right here on this back wheel, so that means those angles will always be the same direction. I'm going to hit apply. Spin my train around, and then I want to put, since the left side of the train has the linkage arm down, I'm going to put the linkage arm up so that I can do an angle constraint here and here. Again, I'm going to go right by the linkage arm, and same part on this tire or this wheel. And now I'm going to do one more angle constraint here and up here, again, kind of on the spokes, and you will notice that when I spin one wheel or one linkage arm, the other one spins. This is a great time to show off your work, and it's also a great time to pause where we're at and save our work. I always encourage my students to save to their Google Drive folder with their initials at the end.